What's up everyone, and welcome to episode 2 of the DIY wide body. Okay, so in the first episode we concentrated on the shape, which is this thing here for the wide body. Now why is this off the car? Because I need to fix it on a bit more securely, purely because when we use the material to go from this point here to the wing, we need some form of kind of tension on it so it doesn't just kind of pull up and make everything sag. So what we need to do, we need to concentrate on getting this fixed in place securely, and then start tacking the material to the other side of this, prepping the wing, getting everything ready so I don't cover anything in resin and things drip everywhere on the tyres and on the paintwork and all that stuff. So we're going to jack up the car, put some pieces of timber, big old pieces of MDF under each wheel, so I've got something to anchor this to from kind of this point here down to the wood on the floor. Then we can start working around it and getting it glassed, maybe, possibly, or just resin, who knows. Let's just do it. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is obviously get this form that we made last week, attach it to the car. So we've got going to have a clamp at the front there. Going to run a piece of timber from the middle of the form all the way down to there and fix it down there, and maybe work out something here, maybe clamp something on here just to stop it kind of pulling and lifting up. Once that's all on there and done and I'm happy with it, I'll take it all off again, cover this with masking tape like that, cover the wheel with some plastic. After that we're going to use some material and start attaching it to the back of this so we can then attach that to there and yeah, kind of fix it on the wing somehow, and then start putting some resin on to get that kind of shell. So yeah, let's put that on. Right, okay, so the shape we were working on last week is fixed and now in place, so I'll show you that. That's what we're looking at right now. So we're clamped this end, obviously. We are fixed from the top here to the piece of wood on the bottom. What I'm going to do is I'm going to zip tie this to the wheel. You can see it can move in a little bit. You can see that, but it does move in a little bit, so I'm going to move that in a little bit and tighten it down, strap it down. That's just held in place with some wood and a clamp. Pretty straightforward. So we've got the line where we want it there. This bit here is literally just held in by force basically, because that's just wedged in there, so it gives us plenty of clearance around. This is going to be well, the front end is going to be higher than this. Like I said before, the coilovers or the springs on the coilovers have been switched out, so it's sunk. It's not on air either, it's static, so it will be going up more to make it a bit more practical, a bit more room. So clearance wise it should be better. Anyway, we can still trim round that. So this is looking good. This is where I want it. It's solid. It's not going to pull up when we put tension on it. So this needs to come off now, and then what we're going to do is cover all of this with masking tape, wrap the wheel with some plastic, and then we are going to start stapling some material onto this, and then once the material's onto that, we can push it back into place, clamp it in, and then pull the material over. Fortunately there's quite a good lip here, so I've got some clamps, so I can probably clamp that material in place, and it shouldn't move. So yeah, should be all good. So this is the fabric that I've got. It's a real cheap fabric. It's mainly used for kind of backdrops in theatres, things like that. So it's pretty thick. You can barely see through it. It's got a bit of stretch to it. It's a close weave. I believe it's kind of it's got a certain amount of lycra in it as well. So yeah, like I said, it does stretch a bit. So what we're going to do is we're going to attach this to this, and then kind of fix it at the back of this. We're probably with staples, I would have thought, and a bit of tape so it doesn't tear, and then put that on here and stretch it up over there. Right, this may look like a kind of a nightmare, and it is, but it works. Yeah, there we go. This is obviously fixed in place. This is nice and secure, bolted down. I've clamped in as many places as I physically could. Any other places I've had to use duct tape and stretch it. You can see it's pretty taut, got that nice tight feel to it now. Now all we have to do now is mix up some resin and then give it a light coat to give it a shell. Once we've got that kind of shell and this is tougher, we can glass over this, because if we just glass directly over this, the weight of it would just pull it in, it would sag and it would look awful. So yeah, we're gonna mix up some resin, put it on and wait. so it's been it's been about half an hour since I put the resin on that material. It's taken a while to go off. It went pretty thick in places, so it's still curing. It's pretty much there. So in another 10 minutes or so, I'm going to put another layer of resin over there just to make sure it's really nice and solid, so we've got a good base. And when we put the fiberglass on there, it's not going to drop or sag or anything like that. Shape wise, I'm super happy. I'm kind of, yeah, I'm pretty happy with myself with the way it's come out, like the shape of it, the kind of consistency of it, and the fact that I'll be able to mimic the other side perfectly with that as well. I'm really happy with that. So I'll quickly show you. So that's what we've got at the moment. You can see the resin where it's thicker in some areas than others, but shape wise it's really good. Now that's starting to go off. You can see that's still a little bit tacky, so these bits here are good. So I'm gonna wait for a little bit until that goes off a little bit more, and then put some more resin on it. Like I said, I'm going to put another layer of resin on that. I'm not going to fiberglass it today because I don't want to rush it. I'll just get really annoyed with myself if I mess this stage up or mess anything up in the glassing stage, because that's really gonna annoy me. So I'm just gonna take my time, make sure it's solid or solid-ish, and then a good surface to work to. Now once that's all cured and dried, I've seen that people have used this technique. They've used the aluminium tape. I don't know if any of you guys have seen it. It's an aluminium tape, so it's real thin, and they lay it over that again, so it acts like a release. So obviously if you laid fiberglass directly over this material, it's just going to bond to it, it's going to stick to it, and don't really want that. So after this is all cured, we're going to lay some tape on it and then fiberglass it. So so yeah, cut to more resin applying, sticky stuff. Okay, so that's obviously got two coats on it now. It stayed pretty straight. There's a few little puckers here and there, but that's nothing too serious. Yeah, that's going to be absolutely fine. So I'm going to cover that with an aluminium tape, something like that. That means the fiberglass can release off of this, because it won't release, it'll just bond to it. So we want to kind of try and glass as much as we can in the next hit. Might go for a slightly thinner mat to start with, just so we can get all the shapes, and get a layer on there first, and then maybe thicken it up. But pretty happy with that. That's gone really well. It's really wide. It's really wide. Yeah, that's a lot wider than I was anticipating. Don't know what I was expecting, but yeah, it's a lot wider. So you can see the stock body line there, and then you go over to that, which is, yeah, so much wider. And then we go down there. That's gonna look really cool. Really cool. So I might have to do something down here as well. I don't know yet, not decided. I'm definitely going to build a splitter, a lower portion to this to bulk it up, because see it's wide there and then kind of goes in there, so yeah, we'll see about that, see how that looks. Yeah, it's looking pretty cool. So I hope you enjoyed part 2 of the over fenders. Probably a short video, so the next one will be getting a bit more serious and actually glassing it and doing, you know, the kind of like the real kind of like meat of it, and see some proper results. We can obviously pull the fiberglass off and see what it looks like without the clamps and all the bits and pieces. So yeah, really excited for that. Also, thank you so much for all the support, really appreciate it, all the kind words. Yeah, help spread the word if you can. Also, I'm looking into getting some snapbacks made that will just have the logo on it, the Hammer and Quill logo. It'll be a plain black snapback hat with the embroidered bit on the front there. So let's see, if you guys want to see something like that or some stickers maybe, then let me know and I'll look into it, because I've got a guy who can do it. So yeah, so thanks for checking it out, and I'll see you guys real soon.
Subscribe, you fools.